excited to introduce my husband this week, Peter Jones.
Rare sighting. Keep it that way.
We're in another lockdown, and it's tempting to
We're moodier this
to
time
feel
about
defeat.
it.
Yeah, it's cold and grey and muddy, and this one we're really locked down because we've got COVID.
You all went for the test, I didn't.
Yeah, but you've lost your taste, smell.
That's it.
So yeah, there is a few things about this one that feels very strict, very cold, very grey.
And we don't know when it's going to end. Mr. Hancock is on the record as saying, hasn't given us a date. Today is Friday, isn't it? Friday the
15th
of
January.
People curious about COVID, for us, don't feel that bad. We're not sure at first, are we? We're sticking our trough in the coffee, in the cinnamon jar. It's quite hard to confirm it all. Yeah.
Audrey did an explosive in the nappy. Didn't smell a thing. Not a thing.
That's an
Just thought,
explosive.
what's that word?
Explosive poo, Maria. Local vernacular. Common across the whole country. Yeah, I couldn't smell it, could we? It's strange. You want to keep confirming it all the time. Can't taste a bit. We can.
There's a tiny bit. Like I get this
Fine,
little
right.
tickly cough that just overflows, and that's it.
Yeah.
Certainly not dry and continuous.
No. You were a bit tired today.
Oh yeah, I got tired. Had to have a nap today, which is so rare. I hate giving into a nap. I want to have my whole day, all of it, and go to bed late and get up early. And no naps.
No naps. And an 8th day in the week.
Yeah. But it is good to let go.
Yeah.
And have some rest. I
And
think
then
it's good for my humility as well. Stop thinking that I'm the one that's running everything and doing everything.
One of the few areas we fall out, Mummy, is if I think you're venturing into the arena of super mummy. Anyway, I don't want to go into where we fall out because we don't really fall out. But that might be a good point to start on for lockdown, coping with it, etc., etc., etc. It may not be obvious to us now because I do think we get on very well. Before lots of things, parents, mum and dad need to be getting on well.
Mm-hmm.
And that normally means, I know for this house, always means, are we saying our family prayers? If we are not, what do you call it? 100% correlation graph.
Positive correlation. I know you like that word, positive,
Is
Peter.
I do not like that word. Yeah, so look, getting on. You've got to work at it.
Get it on. Getting on.
Yeah, getting on. If that means getting it on within, then great. That's all we'll say about that. Just being courteous, and little things are going to...
And just let things go. I find that sort of thing quite easy. I'm phlegmatic and I'm easygoing, but there's still some things like Sunday morning, our little tradition, you're making breakfast, and there's some things that I just want, or I want it to speed up a little bit. You have like this whole ceremony and it's lovely.
Yeah, drag it along.
I'm doing the whole breakfast thing, but sometimes I'm sitting there thinking the children are getting a little bit agitated, or, I mean, it's always lovely. But I've had the feeling sometimes just be like, I'll just do my own bit, because then I don't really like having all the sausage and bacon so much. I like having spinach and mushrooms and tomatoes. So sometimes I feel like I'll push it a bit, and then you're like, I'm doing it, being intentional, just to think, all right then, fine. It's not going to be perfect. And so, or it's not going to be my little plan. So what? When we got married, I really appreciated you saying, I'm sure you said it, love the person, not the task.
I did used to say that, but I've not really said it in a long time.
That's why I was wondering whether it was you. I thought it was always you.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't like busybodiness.
Yeah. Just who cares about
I am
the thing?
I'm sometimes that guy myself, Maria, with the children. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm the main culprit. I'm pro micromanagement. In fact.
No, it was bubbling over that little... Yeah, micromanagement, yeah. You were the one that told me what micromanagement was. I'd never heard of it.
It's only because other people told me what it was.
But you do it all the time.
Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan.
With the children.
Yeah, I don't know how family life sustains without parents being micromanagers at certain times in their lives. This time in their lives. Anyway, Mummy. So getting on,
That's
which,
so fun.
getting
on.
Yeah, make your peace, say your bit, get it out.
Yeah, because I think I think it is important to be conscious of all of relationship stuff. You probably don't like that word. My husband's northern. He doesn't like some words. Community, relationship, positive.
I mean, I'll do it. I may, over the course of time, reveal the many, many things I wish to keep out of these videos. I kind of feel like a guardian of good taste in some ways.
thank you, Peter. Micromanaging our chat. So,
I do it for England.
So what
for
was
the
I saying?
United Kingdom.
Oh, yes, it's really important
Saying prayers.
to think about, saying prayers and getting on.
Yeah.
Those two things being a big thing in lockdown.
Yeah.
And being intentional with it. And some things you're just going to have to try harder to get on. I think it's really important. And with the children as well.
Suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up. Sometimes the parents, sometimes us with each other and sometimes us with the children. Letting them just, it's got to be gentler.
Yeah.
It is different. It's different being together all the time. And
The house is now a type of prison.
it's prison, school,
Yeah. Church,
home. Oh, yeah, it is church as well at the moment.
leisure centre, or wellness centre. What they call them now? It's ridiculous names that give
Do
buildings.
you like the word wellness?
No, I do not.
Yeah, so part of that is picking your battles. And some things that maybe you could be really hot on before, but if you're feeling something's coming up again and again and again, change the record, change the way of saying it, change the way of doing it, and just, I think we can use this time to spruce things up.
Yeah,
and we have.
We have.
Like, punishment was getting to me. Punishment, consequence, whatever it is that we want to call it, and whatever philosophy you want to use. But St. Don Bosco, worth looking at his preventative method, is all about, rather than going heavy on the what not to do, it's just really building up the children in just encouraging them in virtue and encouraging them in what they are good at, and just building them up to be able to, and in that way you prevent
a lot of other trouble.
Yeah.
The children have to know they're loved.
Yeah. And
not
having
just
a good
enough.
Relationship with them.
It's not enough you saying you love them in your heart, in the silence of your own heart. They have to know it. I think that I'm a loving guy and all that. I'm good, making effort for kids, but it's got to be explicit. They've got to be convinced, and that's a bit of a bridge, I think, for a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Guys.
I think it's always lovely that you make our boys hug and kiss. Me, you.
Yeah, big fan.
They're really lovely.
Yeah.
You're very sanguine. Sanguine's can be quite,
It's easy.
emotive and expressive in that way. You sort of express. I don't do that so automatically, but you've helped me, and it has made such a difference, especially with my darling teenage daughter, because she's sanguine too, and so you've sort of.
Yeah, she wants. I'm stepdad, so it's not. She needs extra off you, mummy.
Mm-hmm.
And chuck in a few of the kids, children, where we can. I take the point. I like to say kids, but I do take the point on kids and children better.
I like saying children.
Yeah, I prefer it as well.
Yeah, I just try and avoid saying kids.
Yeah.
My dad always said it was the baby goats. So prayer in the routine of the day is still happening in lockdown. We're still doing well.
Yeah. I mean, that's not skipped a beat, but parents out there.
If you're not on it, get on it. It's worth it.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Stop hiding. You just got to say those dangerous words. Shall we say prayers? To which no one can say no for the believing Catholic. I think that's it. Once you're on it.
And we persevered, didn't we? We persevered for years trying to get into saying prayers.
To the rosary.
As in, saying the rosary, yeah. We did always say prayers.
Yeah.
Trying to get that whole rosary said every day.
Yep.
But now, dinner, rosary. Just go straight in for everyone together.
Yep.
Clear up in the kitchen. No one leaves until they're allowed to. And then we all go in together. Lani's usually great at lighting the candles.
Yeah, she's good. Lani's good, My big thing now is they just got to learn to be still. Which is hard for everyone. Wind it down. Even if you drone out the prayers, get still. I think then get yourself in a position to be meaning your prayers, if you like. And I think that's enough on that, because don't skip it. Order is next.
Yes.
Times.
I like times.
Times.
As in times for things.
Yeah.
It helps me. I could float. I could just float all day otherwise.
Yeah, me too.
If I have times, time for get up, time for bed.
Yeah.
And then the meal times.
Babe, you're great at setting all these alarms in the day.
Oh, yeah. I've changed some of the words for the alarms. Have you noticed?
No, I've not.
I noticed you read one the other day.
Yeah.
Thank God for laundry.
Oh, yeah, I did see it.
Well, it just said put the laundry on before. So actually, I remind myself now, thank God for laundry.
Amen.
So what? I can be made to be humble.
Yeah, and a lot of children generally do it anyway.
We are training them up. They're doing really
good.
well. But then they appreciate it. We're not getting such like load of clean clothes in the wash anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And that's been a big movement this whole lockdown, having everyone together, like this whole year of lockdown time, like teamwork time, and getting the children to feel like they're in the team.
That's right.
They're in the family team. They've got something to sort of pay into the team, and like they're valued as well, and that's the way they
This
can...
is mini society, and one day they're going to be in well, they're in it already, but they're going to be more serious contributors to big society. You've got to do boring stuff.
What does Pope John Paul II say? As
Yeah.
go the family, so goes society, and so goes the world.
This is the building block, isn't it?
This is what the children will get to know, and then how they will then continue that into the bigger world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we ain't one of those crappy powdery bricks that disintegrates. This is going to be a decent brick.
Please God.
Please, God.
What about keeping everyone's spirits up? You're good at that.
And then you're good as well, because you're just lovely,
Okay.
Mummy. I know that's very patronising maybe sounding, but just your loveliness keeps certainly Daddy going. Yeah, because order and prayers and all these things sound quite heavy, and they need to be in place, or it's going to fall apart, it seems, very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's the framework for the day. And
These
then
are
the
like-
freedom within it, the loveliness.
These are our iron girders that we need in place.
And I think like there's lots of families that are really busy. You know, there are most families working from home whilst having their children at home and home educating. It's like not just one new challenge, like loads piled on top. And then if they're unwell, you know, like we're having to isolate at the moment. I'm finding that moderately challenging on top of the other things. And the boys aren't going to their academy. Lani's not going to school. We're missing all of those little things which we usually, you know, would maybe...
So it's hard on everyone, so we've got to keep it sweet on the kids. What was that film, that lovely film years ago? Pope John Paul II liked it.
It's a Wonderful Life.
No, Life is Beautiful.
I don't know.
It's one of those Nazi... I'm not watching any more Nazi movies because I don't like watching those people get shot. But the guy, the Italian dad, is in the concentration camp with all these children, and he kind of takes upon himself to keep all the children in good spirits and almost make believes all these scenarios for them so they don't see the horror of what's going on. This isn't the war, of course, but just a heavy atmosphere that can quickly descend. It's good if we, the parents, like you say, Mummy, keep it nice and light if we can, where we can.
The day that we all discovered we had COVID, well, most of us, because most of us got a test, Rupert was sitting at the table. We were all sitting at the table together for dinner, and the messages come through. And then Rupert just started to move out. You've all got COVID. Rupert is 7 years old. And obviously he's heard all of this for a year. And he suddenly thought, you've all got it, and you're living in my house. And it can be terrifying for them as well, you know, like just... But we've managed to keep most of it, you know, away from them. They don't generally go to the shops anymore. We just keep, you know, so they don't get that feeling all the time of everyone going around
Seeing
in
it all.
masks. Yeah.
I don't like all that, them seeing it.
So keeping it light and lovely, spoonful of sugar, like just adding little bits in the day, I think, makes such a difference. And when I feel like there is everything going on, like we're working from home and we're schooling and all those things,
Cooking meals.
and there's sort of like no let up that there might have been before. But having little bits in the day, like Jemima will say, Mummy, I want a hug. And I always say, of course, I want a hug. And whereas in the past, I'd get into like this, you know, busy mummy. I've got so many important things to do. I might have said, oh, in a minute. But now I really try every time they ask me something, because it isn't that many times, you know. And then letting them know when I've got, Mummy's got to sit now and do some work on the computer. But even if I'm there and they're asking me, can I have a story? You know,
you are the best.
say
story
yes.
reader.
It might be like a 2-minute time, a 5-minute time. It's worth doing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
She loved when you slept on the sofa earlier. She loved coming over to you and tending to you, didn't she?
She did. She
She's
loved that I was having a nap.
She's very adorable.
And then being spontaneous. Again, I'm phlegmatic and I've learned a bit more about my temperament. I'm more than happy to let everyone else have the fun and just sit back, relax, chat, read, do my bits of work quietly, just get on with it. But just little spontaneous things like surprise them a bit, you know?
Yeah,
Like the other day, Hugo was having a tantrum and then, you know, it all ended and whatever. We were back at the kitchen table And then he said something and I pretended that I didn't like what he said, and so I just hit the floor, went under the table, and he was in fits of laughter. Just really unexpected. Maybe things like that can help. Little things like
and
that.
they do
just
help, mummy.
pip them in the day. It's so easy to think, oh, another lockdown. I thought that, and I have been, but now I think, no, make it more fun. Like, you've got the children together, and I know at the beginning I sort of thought, this might not ever happen again. Make the most of it. This is kind of, I'm wondering if it's ever going to end. But I do think, still, it might end soon, sooner than we think, and we still might look back and say, what about that year we had where we locked down together, and, you know, what do we make of it? Got some dresses for my birthday. Thank you, my darling. Usually I go onto ASOS, do a few filters and look through hundreds upon hundreds of dresses. Peter, he said, right, let's have a look on white stuff. Just go get some nice, modest, lovely dresses. And there's lots of discounts and special offers and all those sorts of things. And I'm going to try them on and see what the children think. Criteria is below the knee, up to the shoulders, everything in between. And buttons so that I can breastfeed and still feel and look lovely. Chance to shine. Chance to shine. Bye. Okay, first one's on.
I got dog standards.
What do you think?
10.
Yay! Okay.
9.
I'm 9.
7. 8.
4 because I don't know if I like the pattern and I'm a very harsh judge.
Here we go. I think these are smart. It's a good, nice dark colour, very practical. Ready for number 2?
No. Medium.
So what, number
Better
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
9.
A 6, 5, and I like that pattern up there.
Right, ready for the last one, guys? Up close. Got a lovely pattern in it. It's got like a subtle flower pattern in it. What I like about a dress is that you can just put it on and be done with it and look lovely, potentially. Ooh, favourite, the first one. This one second.
Actually, a 4 actually.
It might be added, Maria. We booted out the TV to the coldest room, the conservatory.
And
it's
propped it on a chair, so it's not really like official anymore.
Yeah, it's not official.
Not plugged in the DVD player. I haven't even
No.
touched it since.
They can play. The uncle got a video game for them, so they can play that under strict supervision occasionally.
15 minutes once a day,
Yeah,
if they're
something
really
like
good.
that. Yeah, if they're really good. Yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour. And I know getting rid of the TV must seem like the most. There's certain lines people will not cross.
Yeah.
In lockdown, we need the TV.
And we had it there for years, and we sort of,
But we didn't have channels
No.
piping out of it.
we never had channels.
Just had DVD player.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a remote. You know, it was hard work. If you wanted to watch DVD, you really had to work for it.
Yeah, and watch it from the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah. You couldn't just skip through. VHS players probably had more technology available to them than our DVD player. But no DVD player now, and it's been all right, hasn't it?
Really good. Yeah, in a way.
Sylvanian Families has picked up where the DVDs left off. You know, Jemima loves that. Chatting away, making up little characters.
Lego, creativity, like
Yeah.
all their little,
Love draw. The kids do like draw. I know it's an easy thing to say, draw a picture, but they do go and draw pictures.
And even if there is a period of like, after, you know, if people are going to think about doing something as drastic as getting rid of the TV, there's a period of the children aren't quite settled with it or they're not quite sure. They're finding their feet. That's okay. There was a time about a year ago, around the first lockdown, when the children were finding their feet with this being at home a bit more and, you know, sort of discovering home and what they could do and getting into their groove a bit more. We did a flow diagram of what do they want to do. So it started with, do you want to play outside or inside? And then do you want to do something creative or something or not? And then it was like all this flow diagram. So I just thought about all the different things they could do and added it to the flow diagram. Read a book, draw a picture, and then they could do the flow diagram. That helped at the beginning. So that was like, that helped with finding the feet. Now we don't really use the flow diagram anymore. I sometimes say to them, "Oh, go and look at that chart in the kitchen." But like rarely say that if they say, "Not really sure what to do." Lani's got good at doing the cooking. She's like happy to make a meal, wants a challenge. Like she didn't just want to do a pesto the other day. She wanted to make a white sauce. So I taught about making a roux.
Did all right as well.
I mean, we couldn't taste it that much, but
No,
that is tricky. That's a tricky thing.
it is tricky.
And having an appreciation for restful learning. Like, I think...
I don't quite...
You don't like that phrase?
Yeah, it makes
Right.
me nervous until I get into it, Maria.
Contemplation.
It's not. It's a new one.
Contemplation.
It's a new one you've crept in there. Contemplation, learning. I mean, I get that it's a thing, but
When you have your children out of school, which like the nation is locked down, there's no school, and you think, like I did when I started homeschooling, you've got to do a school at home all day. And it can be really heavy on. And I think even with Lani, teenager, she's got live lessons with her secondary school. It's easy to fall into, she's got to keep doing it, but appreciating those little rests in the in-between time to do something like colouring, like you say, drawing, or whatever it is they enjoy. Cooking is a great one because they're doing something where they use their mind, but it's like, it's a calm. So it's not just sitting there watching a film. So I would have thought maybe that's like resting and chill out time. But in the chill out time, just being aware of just maybe having this sort of like contemplation time, like doing something that's like simple, but your mind can wander and just, ponder all the ponderings of the day. That activity is a relaxing one as well. I think that's
what it is.
I like thinking about that. Are you going to cut that bit out?
You're hilarious. No. They've got Lego's a great toy for them.
Lego.
They've got a few half decent models over the years now, haven't they? And they just chuck it all into one pile, and it's all out in the conservatory. All the Lego is a bit cold, but they'll spend hours chatting to each other, building their thing. I don't know what kind of learning that is, Maria, but it's a great toy to have, or a great investment for your children. It's not super expensive.
Yeah, a lot of these things you can get second hand, and I bet everyone's selling things online at the moment.
Yeah, first hand or second hand.
They do like a good book. It's lovely as well when they're young to, like, that's something else I've had to be conscious about, not to let time go by without reading a book every day with the children.
We've got
Or a chapter
lovely
of a
books,
story.
lovely illustrations. They appreciate both, actually.
And it's really tempting to think they can read, leave them to it. And actually, that is what I do with Lani, the teen, but I should read with her too. We had a lovely book we were reading together. I've fallen out of that, but even with Rupert, who's able to read, he's 7. It's so easy just to let him go and not read with him, but it is such a treat to read with him and sit with him and keep that going for as long as possible. That's all my things, babe, and I think that's just nice.
Love you. Thanks for Maria.
Love you. Thank you, darling. I want to hear from people still. We want to connect with the world. We want to connect with our country, with the mums out there. We want to link up and still keep what we've got going.